So between Skoll and other things, I'm sure you've been here, what, a dozen times?
Honestly, 4,
Uh-huh.
but I've been around the community for like 15 years.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm curious, what still feels new being here and what feels most familiar?
new is definitely the weather because the other times I've come, I know it's so blah, but it's just, it's been the typical stereotype of
Yeah.
like cold, rainy,
Uh-huh. That's what I was
UK, but
expecting. I'm like, how are we supposed to do this? And it's
you know,
supposed to rain and be overcast.
oh my
You know?
gosh. No, 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 no. It's been perfect, honestly. And, that sets a vibe all of its own, right? When the sun's out. And,
Yeah.
um, so I know that's a little boring, but, that is shocking for me. What's the same? I think honestly, it's just like, when you see old friends, and not all of us are like good at staying in touch
Yeah.
about the work or about our careers or anything, but there's that same energy of like you can pick up where you left off,
Yeah.
which is not everyone's cup of tea. For someone who's average at staying in touch,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just like, I love that, you
Yeah.
know? And, you might not remember everyone's name. You might not remember like what org they are, but there's more than like your title and where you work.
And it's not something to take for granted either. I remember when I worked at the Hewitt Foundation,
Mhm.
won't name any names, but I remember a few program officers who were extremely anxious about leaving the foundation because let's say they hadn't invested as much in building genuine relationships with their partners and grantees.
Yeah, yeah.
And so a few would find that like after their term ended, people stopped returning their calls. It's like to see
I
that.
get it. I get it.
Take that maybe as some feedback and reflect on
And some
yourself a bit.
positive when people still want to say hi to me.
Exactly,
So there you
yeah.
go. You're totally right. Honestly, that was a fear as I was leaving philanthropy in December of like what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah.
Because like you don't have funding anymore necessarily.
Yeah.
And were they friends with you or nice to you just because of that relationship or not? And that is actually something that I've been so surprised by, is just like people genuinely cared
Yeah.
about the transition. And I'm sure I missed people, and those are the ones that fit that earlier category. But like, I don't know, when you're in life career transitions, it just makes me feel better that like, yeah, they take a moment of humanity with you. But I always just thought was like, oh, will I be like settled?
Yeah.
And the world isn't like that, of course, now. And I know we all have chapters.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of my transition, like you're saying, why it takes time. It's just like,
Yeah.
this isn't so easy as you go from A to B to C. It's like you go to A to B to E to half of F,
Yeah.
like these steps are weird. Sometimes you go back, and
Do you feel like or you're starting to know what you want this next chapter to be for yourself?
I think I do. I'm still figuring it out, just to be really honest with you.
I would be surprised if you figured it all out in a few months.
No, because I'm trying to, what is that phrase? Like, take the good, leave the bad or unhelpful, And I've just seen so much good, like we were chatting about. So, and I guess the bad that I've seen, honestly, is that feeling of, it's driven by that feeling of like loneliness and disappointment over the last 10, 15 years. Not always in a funder. Like I was in management consulting and I was in startups and all these other places in our industry. So it's that all is driven kind of my thinking on what this next chapter is, and informed like where I feel like I can make still a really big difference that maybe wasn't part of me right out of college or when I was living in Kenya, working with rural communities. So I'm pretty confident that whether I'm getting paid for it or not, in just my life, like volunteer time too, is focused really on my communities.
Yeah.
And I'm still figuring out what that means.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's probably South Asians, Muslims, American. I'm a third culture kid, like I'm working on some Pakistan funder work right now. I'm just trying to embrace all these identities. And I think now, I won't use the word middle age, but like where I'm
You've
at.
already used it before and again, so it's fine. It's part of the record now.
Where I'm at is very much like, there's so much low-hanging fruit that can do such good.
Yeah.
And I love systems change. I love systems orchestration, field catalysts, et cetera. And, not but, and wow, there's just so much need for these communities that like I'm a part of and I identify with.
Yeah.
And people have been coaching me how to frame this transition that I'm in. And they've used that frame of like, why this, why now?
Yeah.
Why you? And the why me is like, I've just been in these rooms, management consulting, World Bank, philanthropy now.
Mhm.
I've seen the other side,
Uh-huh.
and there's so much room for improvement. And
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about I've seen the other side.
Mhm.
We need to work with those that we really disagree with,
Mhm.
or we have to work with those that are anti what we're doing. It's
Yeah.
like working with those that are our friends.
Yeah.
These are like your active supporters or your passive supporters or your
Mhm.
persuadables. These are
Yeah.
the people that we could really make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's not tens of millions of dollars necessarily,
Mhm.
but like it's still important catalytic money that can have an effect now. I always think of academic towns and universities as their first mission is to like push the frontiers of human knowledge,
Mhm.
which is beautiful,
Yeah.
right? Like to get a PhD,
Mhm.
you're inventing or discovering or doing something new, right?
Yeah.
To like humans' knowledge base. Especially me working this week on this Pakistan funder collaborative
Mhm.
work. And obviously Pakistan, South Asia, India, the British Raj
Mhm.
Empire.
Yeah.
It was a real debate for me, like, should we launch and do our kind of kickoff this week here
Mhm.
in the heart of Empire?
Yeah.
Obviously, I came around to let's do it
Uh-huh.
because for me, the trade-off was the need is so great.
Mhm.
We need to act. Let's act
Mhm.
as soon as we possibly can. And this is a moment
Mhm.
in Oxford, but it wasn't an easy
Yeah.
process. And, this funder collaborative is a version of philanthropy
Mhm.
in a way, but it's trying to be a better philanthropy to your point. So I don't know.
And say more, what does better philanthropy mean in the context of this funder collaborative?
I think the first thing was you and I have talked about this even in our work, like
Mhm.
what makes a certain type of like coalition network
Mhm.
change maker. It's still that value of like humility and curiosity
Yes.
that I feel like is even a prerequisite for teamwork.
Mhm.
And so I feel like that's part of what I'm trying to work on with my co-founders
Mhm.
in this funder collaborative is there are ways that we know philanthropy has worked
Mhm.
that are not good,
Mhm.
right? That are I know best
Yeah.
for you.
Mhm.
And I can be many different types of very powered things,
Mhm.
and you can be very many audiences. And so I don't know. I feel like that's the first thing we're trying to change is like, are there like hearts before we get to like minds out there? And let's just get us all in a room. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, like let's just get us all in a room first
Uh-huh.
to see like if we can connect.
Mhm.
Now it is Oxford though, being
Yeah.
at Skoll World Forum. So like they're super smart people here and you have to engage the like minds too.
Yeah.
But if I were to think of like what's a measure of success for what I'm trying to do this week, it's people see the value of community.
Yeah.
And that people want to be philanthropic in this specifically values driven way.
Mhm.
Whereas if they could do other things, but I don't know. That's the goal. It's like pretty early stage, right? We're designing and kicking off something. So
Yeah. But I hear you continue to speak about relationships and really genuine relationships, like you talked about working with
Yeah.
friends, or like-hearted
Yeah.
people, or
Exactly.
where there's a prerequisite of understanding and community before the work actually happens.
Yeah. I feel like having gone through bad learning experiences in coalitions and work in philanthropy and in consulting, and then seeing good experiences, it's like, how do we highlight the good?
Yeah.
And this is a community funding initiative. So I have to operate not where I live in Berkeley, California.
Mhm.
I'm a third culture person and kid. So I need to be where whatever Pakistan means, that audience. And so I have to practice these values too. It's not just I say it and everyone fall in line. So what about you for you? Yeah. What about you this week? Like, do you have any ambitions or?
It's interesting. I was thinking about it on the walk over. Like, wow, this is my third time at the forum. And I remember the first time I was at the forum and in Oxford feeling just a much grander sense of imposter syndrome.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I just felt like it's really cool to be here and what a honor and privilege to be surrounded by literally thousands of folks who are genuinely committed to changing the world and changing systems and actually have a plan and strategy to do that. It's not just talk. Now several years later, I feel like I think a bit more, say, secure and confident, and expertise still feels like a word I'm not comfortable saying, but let's say my own like knowledge base around how change happens, 100%. About what doesn't work or does work, and I feel like I know a little something about a little something.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I've been living the last few months, just to be vulnerable with you, because you know me for so long now, It's just like when you leave your very steady, kind of beautiful job, for this next chapter, you're balancing life and family, whatever that means. We all have family, whatever stuff, faith, then health, just like normal human things.
Yeah.
But the courage that you're talking about, showing up at places like this, that imposter syndrome, it just gets me back to like, it's not courage if it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
And like maybe the cost is a little bit of that imposter syndrome, or, like you're surmounting it, but I don't know, for your, family and that circle, like they're trade-offs, right?
Yeah.
And I hear you clearly talking about them. And I'm just really in this moment of like, is it weird that I don't feel afraid? And I don't know, I don't hear you afraid still. I don't know if that was still a step too far. And I don't know if it was ever fear, but
I'm going to take a moment to actually think about it. I don't think of like fear is the word.
Okay,
anymore.
got it. So just, a little imposter syndrome. But for me, I think I'm in that moment of just like, be bold. Yeah, like the experiences that I've had matter. And there's just like a million right answers. There's some wrong answers, for sure. But there's like infinite maybe right answers to like creating that change that you want. And there's a Kevin way, and it's beautiful. And there are a lot of people that support you. And like, no matter all these other pieces shift, like work or family or health or whatever, spirituality. Yeah, you have so many people in your corner. And like, you only need, I think, a little bit of progress on each of those buckets to like tackle whatever's ahead.
Nadir, the way you're describing all this, I'm like, you might be what I want to be when I grow up.
I'm flattered. As you can tell, I'm still asking so many questions.
Yeah.
So
which is what I want to be when I grow up. Still asking the questions and answering them too.
Oh man. All right. But I might quote you for my professional coach and my therapist and my wife.
I'm happy to write you a letter of recommendation.
Yeah. Like, oh, thank God I'm not alone. Yeah.
And I'm just curious about what it's feeling like in this moment right now when we are at war with a Muslim country.
Yeah.
And you are leading and trying to pull together this funder collaborative focused on and Muslim people. Just how was that?
Yeah. And I'm doing a lot of Muslim American work, and I mentioned like life, not just paid work life. Like, we volunteer, we show up as leaders everywhere, and a lot of that is like civic engagement, protests, whatnot. The Bay, right? Yeah. Everyone's very active. So honestly, it's really hard right now. And like even going back to like the election, huge debates among friends and family, community members on like, how do we show up because of Gaza and Palestine and, like,
words that we can't even say, at least, some our professional spaces.
Even in a place like Oxford, I'll just be honest, right? And like, that doesn't mean that you don't have allies, you don't have supporters or anything. Actually, I would say the silent majority here are for human rights, right? And so even back home, right? And not just Oakland, sorry. I mean, like literally everywhere. And so that was just so frustrating. And so that's kind of maybe the 2-3 things that I think about now. And when I talk to like college kids who ask for like career advice and stuff, I'm just like, first, know what your values are and just know that like bearing witness and speaking up are 2 different things, but they can never take away you bearing witness.
Yeah.
And at this moment right now, things are so bad that like just bearing witness, you got to hold on to. Yeah. And hopefully you feel comfortable speaking up. We all have our own calculus to say what's right in front of somebody, but know that you have an audience if you're doing it right that agrees with you, right? Like we might all have a different way to get there, but like, don't think that you're always like on the wrong side of something like peace or not killing people, genocide, whatever the thing is, things that your mom and maybe whoever you were raised with taught you right from wrong, So that's the first thing. And then the second 2 things are like, just keep moving. That's what I'm doing right now. Even it's all about moving. The next step. It's one foot after the other. The need is so bad right now. You're right. Like even back home, if you can just keep even the small wins, the small actions, we don't even need to get into like monitoring, evaluation, and learning and all the jargon of our space, right? But like, just keep moving, whatever that means. And then the last thing that I keep telling people, I keep reminding myself, because I'm doing the Funder Collaborative, is don't be as precious about coalitions of the willing. Because if you're looking for purity tests to find your friends, I don't even agree with myself sometimes. Like you're talking about the communal reflections and stuff too. Like you're going to be alone in the work. And
Yeah.
so I think those are like the three things that I keep coming back to right now, even
Yeah.
when I talk to other Muslim or Muslim Americans,
Yeah.
or if it's Palestine or Pakistan or whatever. Like, how do we come back to these three, four things? It's not easy though. I'm not going to lie. Like, being in philanthropy, it was really hard. Being in a lot of these big institutions, really hard, because you're trying to influence behavior and you're trying to figure out when to speak up, when to not. These people that you largely agree with, you know, because you're usually in their sector, like working with those types. So I have empathy all around for everybody, but I'm like, gotta keep moving.
Yes.
We need all the allies you can get.
Yes.
So.
And not get caught up in the tyranny of small differences. I heard you say that.
Yeah, no, someone
I
mentioned
wrote it
that.
and I was like, this is
Oh
good.
my
This is
God.
very good.
That was such a good line. I won't take credit for it, but it was, tyranny, hubris. There's something about
Particularly when human rights are at stake. You know,
it's not easy. It's not. Yeah. You need those persuadables. Like, it's just, if it was just your active supporters, then the world would go with like whatever polarized world we were in. But you don't know. And back when we talk about independence or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's just, forget the labels. It's just like everybody is so complex.
Yeah.
It's just, what's the threshold that you're willing to invest in somebody or some institution? So
Are you a
I don't
systems
know.
orchestrator now?
yeah. And I was like, I think I'm building something, but we're like so kernel of young and new,
Yeah.
you know, like I can't even say that we're this jargon word right now, but yeah, maybe in the future.
That's awesome. Thank you for this.
No, Kevin,
Yeah.
come on, man. So good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm just so thankful again, like you thought of me.
Yeah.
I would have just caught up with you without all of this.